Hyson Fintech Global Limited. I'm Jessica, co-chair of the Digital Banking and Payments Committee of Fintech Association. And we have today with us two distinguished guests from Hyson, Eric Wong, Senior Consultant, and Richard Kung, Sales Director, who will be sharing with us about their SME loan solutions. Welcome, Eric and Richard. Thank you for joining us today. And please give an introduction of yourself, Hyson, and of course, tell us more about your solutions.
呢個 Eric Wong 其實我啲舊同事嚟嘅，唔係個男仔。
Eric.
Hi, this is Eric. Eric Wong. I used to work in IBM Experience and then Jingdong. I'm now working in for Hyson Global Fintech. My background is in the Fintech area, particularly in the AI and data analysis. Okay, Richard.
Okay. My name is Richard Kong. I used to be in the IT market for over 20 years. I used to be in the IT. I used to serve different sales role, selling different IT products within multiple IT vendor. Now I'm kind of like selling digital banking solution in Hyson Global Technology. Okay, so before I start, let me have a quick introduction of our company HSG. Okay, again. Okay, basically our company is originated from China. We are the leading banking solution provider serving a different banking industry, and we are focusing on development and deployment of end-to-end banking solution towards our customer. Basically, we are the subsidiaries of one of our group called Hyson Technology Group, which is a listed company in Hong Kong Exchange. The stock code is 818. And Hyson Technology Group is also a leading integrated banking solutions provider in the market, and focusing on those banking solution, payment and financial, as well as telecommunication service. And this is just like kind of like overview of our company. We have around like 3,000 employees as a whole, and then our total assets is around $1.25 billion US. Annual income is at 530 million, and the annual profits is around 140 million. And then another scan of our company is we are among top 100 China IT service provider, and we have been in the market for over 24 years. Okay, we have like over 50 overseas banking customers using our solution or our system, and then we are serving around 100 million user per day in. And this is just like the reason award we have just obtained from Asia. It's an Asian FinTech. We are the winning of the core banking solution. This award is just award in August of this year. And now this one is like kind of like our regional footprint, particular for Asia Pacific region. As I just mentioned, we are originated from China, so we have a very solid penetration in China. Majority those of the biggest banks are using our solution. Okay, and then when it comes to Hong Kong, the area I would like to highlight is like the virtual bank. Basically, Hong Kong has a 8 virtual bank, and among 8 of the virtual bank, 4 of them are using our solution, and 2 of them are using our end-to-end core banking solution to running their banking service nowadays. And then the banking service is like compliant with all the regulation compliance from Hong Kong MA, and which is a Set-A bank and an A-Star. They are using our end-to-end core banking. Other than that, we do have like 2 other virtual bank, Fusion Bank and PAO Bank. They are using our selective banking solution module, such as like fast payment services and then the reporting to running their banking service nowadays. Okay. Further to this, we do have like other reference in Macau's example, Macau Development Bank, WellLink is also using our core banking solution as well. And then when we go to the Southeast Asia, I would like to highlight that like Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, we do have a footprint over there. And then our penetration is like selling those digital banking solution. Some of them are using our mobile solution. Some of them are using our end-to-end solution. Some of them are new banking, and some of them is a migration from other banking system towards our core system. And I will give you some of the reference later on this slide. And this slide is like basically is other than Asia Pacific, we do have like our footprint to other country. For this slide, I would like to highlight is like the area in Puerto Rico, in which is really close by the USA. The reason I highlight this this country is like the reason by the time we implement our solution to this country, we have to gone through all the compliance regulations towards US, because the country is really close by the US. All the regulation from the compliance or regulation, we have sent our subject matter expert to this country to deploy and gone through all the regulations procedure. Okay. And this slide is like kind of like a summary, particularly for our core banking system. I would like to say like some of them is a new. When you see the table there, you can see like the build model from the right hand side. Some of them are new build and some of them are migration. Okay, so as I said, some of them are and we do have a new plus migration, both of them. Okay, but just want to give you guys a highlight that we have like new banking approach and we do have like a migration approach from the banking solution. Okay. When we talk about what HSG nowadays offering, this is the offerings that we are offering to our customer nowadays. As I just mentioned, like what is the core banking? Basically, our core banking including most of the banking service nowadays. Example, branch teller, deposit loan, customer information, interbank remittance, foreign exchange, something like that. And then we do have another module for the e-banking. E-banking basically is the internet banking, mobile banking, personal mobile banking, corporate mobile banking, something like that. We do have like offering on this. In the middle, we do have like what we call is a customer 360. This is all around how you understand your customer. We have the module for anti-money laundering, CRM, EKYC, fraud detection stuff. And the next one is the payment. We have like a fast payment, as I just mentioned, fast payment solution, and mobile bill payment, e-wallet, card issuing, acquiring solution. Okay. And the last one is just like what we are using our tools to work the banking solution. Here's come with like a high level architecture landscape of our solution. Basically, it's an echo of our previous slide. From the left hand side, it's all about our banking service towards our customer, such as like we have a teller system, teller side, internet banking side, mobile, phone banking, ATM, or others. And the pay in the left hand side, the bottom of left hand side is all the payment we have. Basically, we can support different payment protocol nowadays. For example, SWIFT, RTGS, or different like data feed, AML, okay, or market data feed. When the channel comes to our core banking, we do have a product called what we call is our channel integration solution. Is the kind of like the integration platform to work our core banking core banking solution. In the middle is our core banking. Our core banking is like all the basic components regarding to the banking service we have supported. Example, customer information, credit limit correction, deposit, remittance, interbank, foreign exchange, something like that. But the thing is the topic today is all about SME loan. So I circled it in red for the loan components in the middle. And this one is like the roadmap of our company over the past 24 years. Basically, we start with our company. We start with our business on 1997. By the time we start our business, we are running our application on a really legacy system on IBM mainframe system called OS 390. Okay, when the time's gone by, we keep changing our technology, upgrading from the mainframe technology to the mid-range such as AS400 or Unix, and then nowadays we are basically a cloud native. We are running on the microservice platform towards our customer. So over the 24 years, we keep changing and keep upgrading our solution towards the up-to-date technology. Okay, this is just a quick introduction of my company, HSG. Okay, so I will pass the time to my colleague, Eric, to kickstart off the SME loan, the main topic of the sharing today. Okay. So Eric, probably I will passing to you saying like Eric, basically this is the agenda, what we are going to cover for the SME Loan Solution Suite today. We will go over the solution overview and then like digital onboarding and then risk and then loan process, and finally we have the e-sign. Okay, so I will passing the time to Eric to continue the SME loan solution.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Today our focus will be on the SME loan solutions. So we will talk about 4 major modules. All this is to enable our money lender that you can conduct your SME loan, you can deploy your SME loan business relatively quick. So these 4 major modules are the digital onboarding, risk management, loan processing, and the e-sign. Next page. The digital onboarding is to enable your customer to open up a new account remotely without going to the branches. And the risk management will cover not only the credit risk, but also the fraud risk, AML, and other risks that you are facing. And then the loan processing platform is loan lifecycle management from loan originations, approval to drawdown, repayment, and collections. And then the e-sign. E-sign is a new platform that allows you to sign the contract with your customer online without going through the physical papers. The purpose of all these 4 modules is to allow you to launch your business relatively quick. Okay, next page. So I'll go through the digital onboarding first. Obviously, this digital onboarding is to allow your customers to open up a new account remotely. So there are a number of processes. The first process is the data captures. You will want to capture all the information from your customers, and then authenticate the information that you capture. And then your backend need to go through the approval process. Once it's approved, you want to have an automated process to generate a new account. Okay. Next page. So the first thing is the information captures. We have 2 versions. One is the mobile version, one is the web versions. For the mobile version, of course, the user need to download our apps and then do the registrations. And then customer will input their company informations. Next page. Next. The other one is the web versions. customer can use the browser and doing the same thing. Okay, sorry about the screen. Again, the customer, can we go back to the screen? Okay.
This one, right?
Yes. Okay. Is it on the auto mode, Richard?
I don't know. Okay, let's put it this way.
Anyway,
Okay, you got
this was the first process when Richard is working on the PowerPoint. Sorry about that. The first thing first is you want the customer to capture the information. So for the SME, normally they will input the company names, key stakeholder, contact information, addresses, all these things. Now, we also provide interface to your local data channel so that you can cross-track your the information. For example, in Hong Kong, you can connect to the company registry to cross-check the company information. And in China, there's different business bureau you can connect to verify the information provided by the customers. Okay. By the way, I'm under quarantine. I'm in a hotel, so I think the problem will be someone to knock on the door to deliver the dinner for me. Okay. Anyway, so this process is to capture the information from the customers. Once we capture the information from the customers, the second stage is to authenticate the informations. Now, of course, one thing is we cross-reference to the local business bureau to cross-check the company information. The second thing is we will send out the invitation to the key stakeholder to do the eKYC process. Okay. I think you all know the eKYC process very well. Next one. The eKYC process basically include the ID captures, authentication ID, facial recognitions.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
I fixed it.
You probably need to fix all the slide, change to the non-auto mode. Anyway, so we do provide the eKYC solution for Hong Kong ID, the Chinese ID. Okay. We also provide the fraud detections. We will detect the anti-forgery design on the ID to make sure the ID is correct. In China, if you have the right to connect to the police data source, so we can connect to the police data source for you to authenticate the data. But in order to do that, you have to have the legal right to do that in China. Okay. So once we finish the eKYC, we also provide robot video. The next page. What this does is, if for certain customer, you do feel that there's a need, there's probably you want to conduct an interview with your customer face-to-face, you want to understand further about the information of the companies, you can conduct a video conference through the robot videos. So with this, you can directly talk to the customer to understand more details of the customer information. Okay, so this is the data collection and data authentication process. Once we finish all this process, all the data will be sent to the backend. Next page. So in the backend, all the information will channel to the different evaluator of the bank or the money lenders. So they will review all the data, and also we can connect to a credit decision engine that I'm going to talk about later. So once the evaluator finish the evaluation and get the result, the information will route to the approver for the final approvals. Okay. Once the approver approved the applications, next slide, Then the system will generate the request to the backend system and open up the account automatically for the customers. Okay, with this process, it will, of course, okay, forget about it. There's someone knocking on the door. I'm in the hotel. Okay, anyway, so once the account is open, we will send a message to the clients so that the client can start using the account. Okay, so this is the remote account opening process. Okay, the next one.
This one is Chris, right?
Yes. So the next topic or the next system I'm going to talk about is the risk management, risk decision management platform. Now, we have this all-in-one management system, risk management system. It can manage your credit risk, it can manage your fraud risk, money laundering risk, and other operational risks. Okay. Now, for example, you can set up a different scorecard in using this platform, and to do using the champion and challenger to evaluate your scorecard, and then integrate this scorecard with the account opening process of the system that I just talked about to make the decision to approve or reject the new applications. Also, you can connect the system to the different process within your business system to detect whether there's a fraud or not. For example, you can connect the system with the application system so that you can set up different rules to detect whether, for example, if you can set up a rule, say the application is coming from a country that is not known, it shouldn't be applying for a loan, and so you can reject the application, something like that. Okay. So there's 4 major functions of this risk management system. Next slide. Next. The first one is interface center. Now I just talk about you need to connect to, okay, too fast, Richard.
Back.
Okay, interface center. Now you need to connect to different data source, different business system. In the old day, every time when you connect to a system or new data source, you need to ask your IT people to develop a new interface to do some programming. Now the interface center will help you to resolve this problem. You can just go through some simple configuration when you have a new data source, and you can just boom, okay, then connect to this data source. We support most of the common communication protocol that we have today, like HTTP, REST API, and everything. So without doing a single programming, you can set up a new data source connecting to the system. Okay, the next one. Now, once you have the data, these are the raw data. Now you want to transform this data into some meaningful parameters or variable so that your system can make decision. Let me give you an example. I have an account, okay. I have a lot of transactions coming into my account, but what I really want to know is the velocity of the transactions. So instead of writing a program to transform, to capture the raw data and calculate, oh, okay, how many transactions I have within the last half an hour to my account. I can simply go through a setup page and transform all this raw data into meaningful variables, okay? Now, without a single programming, all this can be done by using user interface, and you can change, you can set any rules that you want. For example, the scenario I just talked about, I want to, instead of just counting like how many raw data or transaction, I'm going to count the velocity of the transaction in the last half hour. So I can create this variable, velocity, become a variable so that I can use these variables. Okay, the next slide. once I have all these meaningful variables, then I can use it to set up different strategy. For example, I can have a variable to define okay country, not okay country. Let's say this is the variable. The other variable is the velocity that I just mentioned. The variable may be the type of the device that I use, is whether it's a mobile phone or web channels. So with all this thing, I can use all this information to set up a rules. Let's say if the transaction coming from the not okay country, I have a score, let's say 10. If I have the transaction velocity is too high, I have another score. If the transaction is coming from a certain type of device or channel, I have another score. Once I sum up all this score, if it meets certain threshold, then I can reject or accept the transactions. So I can set up all different rules based on different type of scenario. It can be for credit approval, it can be fraud detection, it can be for anti-money launderings. Okay. The next one. Now, once I finish all this thing, I want to understand what's going on in the system, what's happening in my ecosystem. So I have tools to visualize the data I have. I can set up a real-time dashboard. Let's say I want to look at, for this type of rule, what's going on, for this type of application, what's happening, what's the frequency. So I can just show all this thing on the dashboard in real time. And also I can serve certain rules. If the threshold of the application is too much, then I will send an alert to certain responsible person so that the person can look into whether they can make any adjustment or take any actions. Of course, you can always generate different offline report for compliance purpose, for regulatory purpose. Also, you can export all this data into external for, let's say you need to develop an AI model for your fraud detection, for your anti-money laundering. You can export all this data to external system for model development. And also we provide case management. So in case something happened, let's say there's a fraud case happen. So you can use the case management to look into the case, and the system will quickly collect all the relevant data so that you can understand, okay, what's going on for this particular case, okay, and allow you to generate, let's say, report to, say, police departments. Okay, these are the risk management decision platform that we have. So the next two topic is our loan processing platform and the e-sign. I'll pass it back to Richard.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the loan processing. Basically, Eric just mentioned, just talk about is that from our principle for the loan life cycle, we have a loan origination process, and we have a loan administration in the middle, and then we do have a loan follow-up process right after this. So the thing that Eric just covered is majority from the loan originations process. Example for the decision engines, credit scoring, something like that is like based on the loan application and loan approval. Now, in my loan process life cycle, I'm going to go over the loan administration in the middle of the slide. It's not all about the loan process and the loan management. It will cover the customer information, all the correction, credit limit management, and how we can do drawdown management, the fee management for the loans, as well as the interest calculation or processing. After this, regarding to the loan follow-up, it's all about like interest settlement, repayment, overdue, correction, and as well as the loan closure. Okay. Basically, our system, our HST loan process system is cover different parameter setting. Example is limit setup, limit control, collateral management, and we do have like integrated customer view as well as the collateral maintenance. Okay, all the basic components regarding to the loan process or loan management, we do have the module to cover on it. And regarding to our loan product management, we basically go through the product attributes to support different loan type. So our system basically can support multiple loan type and multiple loans products, as well as like multiple account setup on this. We support like revolving loan, different types like such as like revolving loan, secure and unsecure loan, and then we do have like the different flexible payments available for our customer to select. And this is just the basic code, our system layout for you guys. I have a reference. This is kind of like loan applications screen thumb screen for you guys. We have a product, we have a loan amount, something like that, the terms of the loan, and then the lending amount. Once the loan application, we do have the function for the different loan application query to search for users to search for their loan type or their loan status or detail of the loan. Further to this is the drawdown management. Basically, once you have to get the loan approval and all the loan accept and approved, the next step is the loan drawdown. Basically, our system is like end-to-end support all the loan operation in terms of drawdown, like the loan amount, the time of drawdown, and the bank account to send to the borrower. And then the final one is like the repayment. Basically, our loan can capture different repayment methodology towards our customer. And some of them, example, due to COVID-19, some of the financial institute or bank come to us saying like they like to have like different procedure to handle for the COVID-19's impact, such as like the borrower can just return the principal without the interest, or only repay the interest without the principal, or both of them like hold it for a grace period, something like that. We do have like capability or modules to support this. And then basically our loan processing is covering as I just mentioned, is a loan administration and the loan follow-up. And now I would like to go over the e-side. It's basically a e-signature solution. Okay. The e-side solution. Actually, this solution is like widely running in China nowadays. And then we have like one of the virtual bank in Singapore is being deployed this solution nowadays. So our solution is kind of like proven running in the market, especially in China. The e-side solution basically covers 3 components. One is the pre-signing in the left-hand side, and then in the middle is the signing, and then the post-signing, something like that. Regarding to the pre-signing side, our solution basically is like kind of like managed to kind of like doing like the preparation for the e-signing stuff. We will have help the user to like do the contract management, digital contract management, or digital signatures management. Basically, we have like all the contract management, and then the workflow and the versioning control for this area. From the pre-signing side, we do have like user authentication. We support personal and the corporate customer, as well as the certificate authentications, which is like the certificate company to certify the integrity of the someone or the contract. And then we do have a management platform to do the workflow stuff. And then as I just mentioned, we have a the module to facilitate the contract management as well. Once that you have the preparation for the pitch signing, the next step is the signing, and then we have the procedure to go through all the signing stuff, like how to process the next version of like go through the process to get it complete. And finally, for the pro signing stuff is basically is like the storage of the document, the contract, the digital contracts, and the signature, as well as like we have like in China we have the strictly connection to the local court. Once like there is like something jurisdiction issue come up, this will be add as a kind of like evidence to go for the legal stuff. And then our deployment model basically. We are quite flexible. We have a SaaS model, we have a PaaS model, and we do have an on-premises for our customers to select. And this slide is basically looks like really complicated, but like it's kind of like to highlight that for the e-signature or e-sign procedure or all the workflow step by step. What we like to highlight is like every step for the e-signature is gone through the blockchain technology, step by step in blockchain. The blockchain is basically developed from our China team. So when we say that like all the procedure is like really like trustable, and then we have gone through the local compliance in China as well. So it's the blockchain. We are leverage blockchain technology to do that. And then finally, basically our solution is I would say it's a financial grade security governance. We basically serve most of the financial institute in China, and then we are based on the high level grade of security to control all our data, or in terms of user ID, data, network, and then the operation. Okay, so it's really secure, I would say that. Finally, this is such a value proposition of the e-signature. Is widely used in China. It's like kind of like really convenience and standardize the management, and then like really economic benefits on this. So basically, this is what I was sharing today. In summary, I would say that like just like to say, basically our HSG has got like end-to-end loan life cycle management solution. We are starting from the loan onboarding and then the decision score, credit scoring towards the loan process, and then I come up with then finally we have the e-signature solution all together. It's a one-to-one, end-to-end, one-stop solution. So we are open for the question now.
Thank you very much, Richard and Eric. That was a very fruitful session. We're opening to a Q&A session now. So please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box below. So Andy, first question from Andy is asking whether there are any use cases in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah, let me answer this. Yes, we do. In terms of loan processing, we do have a money lending company in Hong Kong is using our loan application nowadays. Okay. So because we just mentioned like our solution is by module. If your customer come to us saying like if they are interested on the onboarding, we can have an onboarding module to work with our customer. When they come to us saying like they want to have like risk management module, we do have a risk management module to work there. And then when the time like the Hong Kong references like nowadays using our loan process, the loan management stuff module.
Right. I actually have a question whilst we're waiting for others to think about as well. Could you share more about how the remote interview will be conducted and how long it usually takes?
Eric, I'm passing to you.
It's really depending on the bank's preference. Some of the bank uses to verify the ID information, like particularly when customers are using the passport. Now, some banks use it to a tool to conduct a more extensive interview with the customer to cross-checking the company information. So there's no limit in terms of the time. It's really up to the bank's decisions.
Great, thank you. And we have one more from Andy. So do you have OCR elements in your SME loan processing module?
Yes, we do. We do OCR on all the identity card, like Hong Kong ID, Chinese ID.
And one from Andy, another Andy actually is, do you have capabilities to take in alternative data for risk scoring instead of the traditional risk scoring model? That's probably CDI.
Yes, we do. The reason we've gone through the great thing doing the interface center and the verbal center is so that we can access different type of data. Nowadays, we can have a lot of different type of data instead of just data coming from the, let's say, inside the bank. We can connect to different data source, and then with all this new data source, then we can do different type of scoring.
And how about OCR on documents like local bank statement? Do you have the capabilities to do that?
Yes.
Yes and no. We have the capability of OCR the document. However, normally we require the customer or the bank provides a certain sample because there's too many different type documents, different type template. So we normally require the bank to give us the sample so that we can tune our model to accept different type, whatever document that the customer wants us to do. And let me clarify on this point is OCR, we look at it this way. OCR to capture the characters is one thing. The other thing is we also want to understand the meaning of the character. For example, when we capture, let's say, a number, we want to know this number, but what's the meaning of these numbers? So that's why it takes more time to do that.
So we have an extension from that again. They're asking whether or not your system is capable to source data from TU, CCRA, or company registry. And how does it fit, your solutions fit into, let's say, Open API or CDI, which is pushed by the HKMA?
Yes, we can connect with all this data source, provided the customer has the connection.
Has there been, so this is from my own question, I guess, though, has there been any use cases where customers have been able to connect to it?
Yes, for example, the TU. TU has a pretty standard interface. You can connect with once you're a member of TU, you can through the interface, through the API to connect to the TU.
Okay, great. And actually would like to ask as well, like some of us are probably quite interested in the risk detection engine platform. So how would your end-to-end decision strategy management make the money lenders kind of easier to adapt and control?
The way we look at the risk is scenario-based. So let's say when you look at the whole money lending process, you have the account applications or the loan application process, then you have the drawdown process, you have the account access process. So for each process, we can connect to your business system and deploy different type of strategy based on different type of scenarios. For example, in the account application process, you can check whether the device is okay, the device information is okay, or you can add the device information along with your credit information and to make certain decisions. So it's very flexible. It really depends on what kind of data you can get access to.
Great, thank you. And one more request actually from the audience is, can you actually share the slides with your contact details? So I think most of us would like to receive kind of more information around what you shared today. And whether or not you're able to share, let's say, the list of decision attributes for the rest of the credit risk scoring and for fraud payment transactional monitoring as well.
We cannot share the attribute. The reason is most of all this information are proprietary from the banks, so we cannot share the information. Okay, but we do have, for example, fraud detection. Let's say credit card. We do have certain typical fraud strategy when customer sign a contract with us. So we'll provide some standard strategy as a reference for the customers. But we normally do not share the attribute or detailed strategy because those are proprietary information from the banks.
Great, thank you very much. I think we're about on time. Thank you very much, Richard, Eric, and everyone else for joining the session today. Eric, if possible, is it can we distribute the slides to the audience today?
Yes, I think Richard will.
Yeah, you can contact me.
Okay, sure.
Contact me. I can pass the slide to you guys after this.
Great. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you everyone for joining us. And oh, Benjamin, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to the team as well. I'm also in quarantine, so I feel for Eric.
Where are you?
In Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, Jessica, for organizing.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your quarantine and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone if we don't get to meet until after 2022.
Okay.
Will do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.